This is day 11, and today I have some pretty interesting and useful information that I'm really eager to share with you. And since I'm basically starting my whole life over from scratch now, and I have quite a lot of plans for this new life, I sometimes get a bit lost in my tasks, and sometimes I lose faith that I can actually accomplish them because, well, all these plans are pretty ambitious, and without faith and some kind of structure, it's just not going to work. Well, it's just not possible. Yeah. And of course, on top of that, my emotional state is still very fragile and really needs some special techniques that can help me start this new life and actually achieve the results I'm aiming for. So today, I tried out a really interesting technique that I'd like to share with you. And I won't say, no, actually, I will say that this technique will be interesting to absolutely everyone. And now, just a mere few hours after I personally went through this profound experience, I'm only just truly realizing that it profoundly made me genuinely believe in certain fundamental things that I had previously steadfastly refused to acknowledge or even properly listen to. Specifically, my own deeply held wishes and personal desires. For instance, right now I've put my development in a new profession above all my other goals. And as for my personal life, since I went through that breakup and it still hurts, I basically forbade myself from even thinking about any kind of relationship. And honestly, I just have absolutely no desire for it right now. But when I went through this technique, the technique is really about understanding everything we do, not just our mission, but I'd say both our mission and our true desires. What is it that we want? What makes us get out of bed in the morning? Specifically us. Each person has their own unique set of these wants, after all. That true want. This technique helps you find your true want. 16 words, and in the end, just one. But I figured for myself that, basically, all these 16, or maybe the final 4 and then that one, they really are just 3 or 4 that are super key, truly super key. And you shouldn't fool yourself, like, no matter how I spin it, I won't be able to be as happy as I want, to be so self-sufficient that maybe I never want to be with anyone else ever again in my life. But no, of course, I understand that in my personal view, for me personally, happiness is a very specific set of things, right? Concepts, without which I simply won't have that happiness. I won't feel it. I won't be able to wake up and feel that I'm happy if I'm missing even one of those points. Awesome. It seems like everything is so complicated, but in reality, it's just about 16 words that can be boiled down to 3 or 4, or even just one most important one. In short, this technique is really simple. You can try it out if you're interested, especially if you're feeling as scattered as I am, bringing chaos into your life. So, let me get started with the story. You can take a sheet of paper and a pen. That's all you need, nothing else. And as the first step, just write down one word, the thing you want most at this moment in your life. What is it that you would like? Well, what word would you use to describe the order you want in your whole life? For example, success. So, just one word. For instance, the reason I started learning this technique and trying to bring structure, bring order to my life, right? Why did I need this? I realized the word is success. So, what do I want most right now? What comes to me first? Without thinking, you don't need to think. This is work with the subconscious. It's here, not in your head. It be the first thing, whatever pops into your mind. You need to write it down really quickly, without thinking about it at all. And for example, a word like success, you write down the very first word that comes to mind. Then, as the second step, you write 16 associations to that word. So you look at that word, for example, success, and write down all first associations that come to mind. You do this 16 times. The very first ones, the first 4 or 5 words, just popped into my head, and I wrote them down quickly. After that, it was a bit slower, but I still didn't think too much. I just kept writing whatever came to mind. I really love anything that doesn't require a lot of deep thinking, because sometimes all that overthinking actually gets in our way. We start recalling all sorts of knowledge, and then what we write isn't our true desire. And here, it's all about desire. So in this case, you shouldn't think. Write down 16 items. Writing. Once you've written those 16 items, then what did I do next? I took the first and second word from those 16 and wrote them down separately. For example, freedom and choice. Those were my first 2 associations. I combined them, meaning freedom plus choice, and then come up with an association for those 2 words. So, this plus that equals something else. Then we take the next 2 words from those 16. So, what are the third and fourth items? We add those together as well. And what does this combination of 2 words create for us? And we write that down too. So now we end up with 8 items out of 16, right? We combined each pair, and now we've got new words, 8 words. And now, from these 8, we pair them up and combine them the same way. And from those combinations, we get 4 new words. And then finally, from those 4, we combine 2 and 2. And what we get is the final words. And accordingly, the final word. So we just keep repeating this process until only 1 word is left. And that word is the very association that comes out of all these most important points. By the way, some things might even repeat. Sometimes I had things repeat too. That's not a bad thing. And accordingly, this word will reveal what it is that you truly want so much. This is your natural, genuine desire, where you'll feel, yes, this is it, this is the one. This word reflects all the others, those 16 words, and I'm sure this will open many people's eyes to their lives and their priorities. But for me, for example, it definitely helped, because I realized that no matter how much I want to build a new career right now, I just can't. I won't be 100% truly happy and content if I allow my difficult and challenging past experiences to completely ruin the entire rest of my life. Because in my understanding, that's not happiness. That's just some kind of principle, maybe some kind of grudge against fate or something else. But it's definitely not true happiness in my personal view, in my own. That just won't bring me personal harmony. Everyone will have different words for it. And it's so cool that everyone is different. Because if everyone were the same, everything would actually be even harder. It's great, really great, that everyone is different and each person is unique. So I'll be happy if this technique opens someone's eyes and helps them. And of course, it would be really awesome if you write in the comments about what you experienced and whether this resonated with you. It doesn't have to be right away. It can be after a few hours. For example, I didn't realize it immediately, even though there are people who got it right away, like, wow, no way. So I wish everyone good luck and a nice evening. And look at this beauty we have here. I've already shown you this, I know, but I just really like it here.